Some really disturbing news, as Donald Trump has ordered or has announced he will cut funding for schools that accommodate transgender care, or transgender students, transgender students, not transgender care. Why? Let's figure that out in today's video. This article is by Mother Jones. The article is titled Trump Tells DOJ to Prosecute Teachers Who, quote, unlawfully, quote, support trans non-binary students. And the video reads, or the article reads, during his campaign, President Donald Trump frequently repeated the inflammatory and outrageous lie that, without parents' acknowledge, schools are sending children for gender-affirming surgeries. During the campaign stop filmed by Fox News at a Bronx, New York barbershop, Trump answered a voter's question about failing school systems by saying, quote, no gender, no operations, they take your kid. There are some places your boy leaves for school, some comes back a girl. Okay, without parental consent, exclamation mark. Quote, he added, quote, at first, when I was told that was actually happening, I said, it's an exaggeration. No, it happened, or happens. It happens. There are areas where it happens. Quote. Obviously, this is untrue, but now he's trying to solve the problem he invented as part of his anti-trans campaign strategy by going much further than the earlier lies and threatening to prosecute teachers who take steps to acknowledge or support the identities of trans or non-binary students. In the executive order issued Wednesday evening, titled, quote, Ending Radical Indoctrination in K-12 Schooling, quote, Trump directs the Attorney General to work with local and state officials to investigate teachers who, quote, unlawfully facilitate the social transition of a student minor. Quote, the order defines, quote, social transitioning to include using a trans student's name and pronouns, recognizing a student as non-binary, or allowing them to use the restroom that aligns with their gender identity. The same section of the order suggests that K-12 teachers and school officials who take action to support trans students' identities be prosecuted under laws banning sexual exploitation of minors and practicing medicine without a license. There are 3.8 million public schools teachers in the United States, according to the National Center for Education Statistics. The threats don't stop there. Federal funding for schools and programs that teach lessons about gender or race is also in jeopardy. Trump's order instructs the Department of Education, Defense, and Health and Human Services and Justice to come up with an quote, ending indoctrination strategy within the next 90 days, identifying federal funding streams that, quote, directly or indirectly subsidize the instrument or the instruction, advancement, or promotion of transgender ideology or discriminatory equity ideology, quote, in classrooms and teacher training. But what does, quote, discrimination equity ideology actually mean? The order defines it as, quote, ideology that treats individuals as members of preferred or disfavored groups rather than as individuals, and minimizes agency, merit, and capability in favor of immoral generalizations. Quote, in context, this seems to be Trump's new phase for what conservatives, activists use to call, quote, critical race theory, a term that itself mischaracterizes academic concepts around systemic and institutional racism as being anti-white. The order is a transparent attempt to inject schools with whitewashed American history. It directs federal agencies to promote, quote, patriotic education, quote, which it defines as teaching an, quote, accurate, honest, unifying, inspiring, and ennobling characterization of America's funding, quote, to achieve that goal, it reestablishes the 1776 commission, which Trump created during his first term to cultivate, quote, patriotic citizens ready for the workforce, not political activists. Quote, the original 1776 Commission's report on U.S. history identifies progressivism as one of the foremost threats to American principles and derides social justice policies as antithetical to the, quote, colorblind civil rights, quote, movement. Wednesday's order is the latest in a string of executive actions targeting diversity initiatives and transgender rights that Trump has signed since taking office over a few weeks ago. These orders include redefining sex, banning trans people from the military, curtailing access to gender-affirming care for people under the age of 19, and ending DEI, which is diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives in the federal workforce. Trump provided the blueprint in his first term to target anti-racism and LGBTQ inclusions. His 2020 executive order to abolish DEI initiatives from the federal government armed conservative organizations and politicians with the language to target government entities, particularly schools at the local and state levels, while former President Joe Biden quickly undid that order. It became the catalyst for the introduction of nearly 900 similar anti-DEI policies across the United States. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to conclude it for today's video. I hope you did enjoy today's video of this unfortunate article. No thanks to Trump. If you did enjoy today's video, please do consider liking, commenting, subscribing, and sharing the video. It'll help me out a huge heck of a lot. If you have not yet already followed me on my socials, go ahead and do so. The links will be listed down below in this video description. Lastly, please help me reach my goal of 70 subscribers. I am almost at 70 subscribers. I only have 2 more subscribers to go, and then my next goal is 80 subscribers. Thank you guys for watching today's video, and I hope you guys have an excellent day.